This is the next installment in my makeup declutter series. I was going to do blush, bronzers, and highlighters, but when I got to look at how many I actually have, I thought maybe it'd be better to break those up into different videos. So today is all about blushes. And while it's supposed to be a declutter video, I'm kind of fond of my blushes, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get rid of very many of them. But stick around, grab a drink, and we'll see how I do. What's remarkable is that I had all of these blushes in these 3 little containers. One was warm blushes, one was cool blushes, and this was my cream and liquid blushes. Okay, they weren't all in those 3 little containers. I did have a few that had overflowed into another basket, but the goal is to make sure that they all fit in the containers I have provided for them. And I thought it would be fun to switch things up, and I'm here on my bedroom floor, and it was a great idea until I started trying to get all the lights set up and everything. And then the sun decided to go behind the clouds, so I don't have the natural light from the windows. Hopefully it's not too dark and you guys stick around anyway. I'm going to flip this down so you can see what I'm doing. So these are my powder blushes, and I have them loosely arranged with warmer colors over here and cooler colors over here. I'll try to remember to turn them around so you can see the names of them, but I'm starting out with 34 powder blushes. And I know right off the bat that I'm going to get rid of this Ciate that I got in an Ipsy because it's pretty, but it's really glowy. It's more like a blush topper or even a highlight. And the packaging is broken. I've dropped it and the blush is broken, and I almost never use it because I can't put it in a drawer to store it, or it falls apart and then it gets all over everything. So this is actually going in the trash. Woohoo! 1 blush gone. I have another Ciate blush, however. This one is Date Night, and this one is actually super pretty. So I'm keeping this one, even though I got rid of the other one. And I don't have a cloth down here to wipe off my hands, so I'll be right back. Also, let me know in the comments, do you prefer declutter videos where there's a lot of swatching and talking about the products and kind of mini reviews, even if it makes a longer video, or do you just want to get in and see what I got, see what I'm getting rid of, and be done and move on with your day? But I plan to do this one with swatches, so let's go. I know that I'm going to keep this Essence Pure Nude because I just got it, and it is beautiful. It's a really nice, cool pink color. I did a full face of Essence not too long ago, and of course I will link that in the cards so that you can see that and down below. So that guy's staying, and I'm going to start putting these in my cool blush drawer and see what I can do. The e.l.f. Primer Infused Shimmer Blush in Always Preppy is a little bit close to this one, but this is actually a brighter pink, almost more of a bubblegum pink. In fact, this almost reminds me a little bit of that Dior blush that has taken YouTube and TikTok by storm. I would like to see somebody who has that do a side-by-side with these. That would be great. I don't have a Dior blush. This guy really kind of needs to be not in the cool tone blushes. This Kokie blush, I love these gradient blushes. You can go into one side or the other and actually get 2 different colors out of them. Or you can blend them together and get something kind of in between. Really, really pretty. Like it a lot. So keeping the Kokie blush. And then the Essence Mosaic blush. This one is in All You Need Is Pink. And I love this to wear this one a lot. And you might be thinking, but they're all the same. They're a little different. This is a newer purchase for me. This e.l.f. blush in bright pink. And it does not have any shimmer. It is a matte pink. And so it's very similar to these others, but it's also newer. I don't necessarily need... This is really close to this darker pink in this Kokie, but this one has a little bit more coral in it. I'm going to put this one and think about it. I might not need this guy with all these others I have, so we're going to put that there and think about it and see how many of these others I get rid of. One I know that I'm going to get rid of is this All May. There's really nothing wrong with it except it's pressed really firmly in the pan, and so I feel like it's hard to get it on my face. And it's also just a little too dark for me. It's kind of a terracotta-y color, and I just never wear this. So I am going to get rid of this one. All right, 2 gone. We're moving now. This BH Cosmetics Floral Blush. Again, here's that bright pink that Dior has everyone raving about, but it also has this shimmer section here in more of a peachy color. And again, you can use them separately or swirl them together for a different color. And I'm keeping this. This BH blush formula is really good, and I really like this. See, I told you I wasn't going to do very good with this. The other ones are these Essence The Blush. I have Befitting, Believing, and Bespoke. And I like all of these. This one is just a great neutral blush. This one is a little bit more of a brownish toned blush. And this one I really like in the fall. And then this one has more of a mauvey tone. I guess I should have told you what they were. This one is Believing. The brown one is Bespoke. And this one is Befitting. So, and these are so inexpensive. They're like, I don't know, $2.99, something like that. Keeping all of those. They're not going to fit in my container. This Lumi blush, I got this one. I did a full face of Shop Miss A. This one is in Rose Dawn, and it kind of got buried and I forgot about it, but it is a really pretty color, but it's also very shimmery. This would be one that you would definitely not need a highlighter with. That gold in there is really shimmery. So, not sure. I'm going to try this one. I haven't really worn this other than when I did that full face of Shop Miss A. This may be too shimmery, and it may be going, so it's going to go in my maybe pile here. The way I've done this with my other videos is I have a maybe pile where I allow myself maybe 5 that I can think about over the next couple of weeks, use them, and make a decision. And if I like them, then I can put them back in my collection, and if not, I'll pass them along. So I'm going to do that with that. We have the e.l.f. Bite Size in Pomegranate, and I like this blush, but it's very similar to others that I have on my arm here. And the highlighter is really too dark for me. And so I am actually going to pass this one along because I have other colors like this. The highlighter is a little dark for me, so I never use it. And it's really just taking up space because I don't reach for this one. I reach for these others. So there we go. We're up to 3 that I've decluttered. This Relove brand by Revolution is a super affordable brand available at Walmart. And I bought this one. I did that. I like this color. It's a little bit more corally and deeper, not quite as pink as some of these. And this highlighter, even though it looks like it might be as dark as the one that I just put away, is actually a brighter highlighter. So I will be keeping this. This Milani Rose Powder Blush in Romantic Rose. I'm not even sure where I got this, but it's too light for my skin. It doesn't show up. Never use it, so I am going to find somebody who can. And then I have 2 blushes from Makeup Geek. I debated on whether to put this in here or with my face palettes because I'm going to do a separate declutter of those, but there's only 2 of them in here. So they're so soft and so smooth, and I always forget about them because, boy, they're shimmery too. I don't know. I'm not opposed to a shimmery blush if it's not super shimmery. You know what? These are going to go in the maybe bin. I know Makeup Geek isn't around anymore, and so some people are kind of hoarding Makeup Geek, but that's really shimmery. Okay, moving on. CoverGirl Cheekers. I got this one on clearance at Dollar General for like $2, and I really like the Cheekers formula. Not sure I like this color. It's very, very light. You can't even see it. And it has some shimmer in it, so I'm going to get rid of this one. So this is what I'm keeping in what I would consider to be my cool tone blushes, and these guys are going in the maybe bin. But because this looks as good as it does, I'm going to keep this one too. And then just those go in the maybe bin. Wow, I did way better than I thought I was going to do, and I'm switching around here because my legs are going to sleep. So, all right, so let's check out these more warm tone blushes and see what's going to stay and what's going to go. The LA Girl Just Blushing. This one's in Just Natural. My husband just turned on the water. The faucet is right outside the wall right here. We have calves in a pasture just south of our house, and they need water because it's hot. So you are going to hear that for a few minutes. Back to the blushes. Okay, this was LA Girl Just Blushing in Just Natural. I really, really like this blush, and as you can see, I have used it a lot, but it's kind of gotten, I had to switch back around. I was in an awkward angle for swatching. Anyway, really like this one. It's great if you're doing a peachy, warm, summery look, and that is going to stay. And then I have another of the e.l.f. Bite Size, tiny writing. This one's in White Peach. And again, the highlighter is just too dark for me, and that's really kind of orange, and I think it might be a little bit dried out or something because it's patchy and I don't remember it being patchy. So e.l.f. Bite Size is also going to find a new home. Moira Signature Ombre Blusher in Mellow Pink. I don't know if I would consider that to be pink so much, but again, we have the two-tone. You've got the light at the top and the darker at the bottom, or you can swirl them together and get something kind of in between. And I love this blush. It is a beautiful tone on my skin, and I am keeping that. And then I have another of the Kokie Soft Gradient Blush, this one in Bellissima. And you've got the dark at the top, the light again at the bottom, and swirled together, they kind of look like that. So it's a little bit of a deeper tone than the Moira, and I'm also keeping that. The formula is just beautiful on these ombre blushes, both from Kokie and from Moira. They're soft, they're smooth, they go on easily, they're not patchy, they blend well, stay on your face all day long, and love them. This e.l.f. Primer Infused in Always Hazy, it's the Primer Infused Shimmer Blush. And I don't think I'm going to keep this one. I think it's a little too brown, and I just really don't wear it. So I'm going to put it in the maybe bin and wear it in the next week or two and see how I like it on my face. It's one thing on my arm, but it might be different on my face, so I do want to try it. Milani Luminoso, this is so iconic, and I love it. Yes, it's shimmery, but it's just, especially in the summertime, I don't really designate makeup as summer makeup or winter makeup. If I want to wear it, doesn't really matter what season it is, but I do tend to gravitate towards certain things in the summer and the winter, if that makes sense, and love this Milani, so it's staying. Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush in Pearlescent Pink. These are other ones that are just super affordable, and I'm starting to run out of swatching room. That is a super pretty corally pink for summertime. Has a little bit of shimmer, but it's not over the top shimmer, and it's just really smooth, and I'm going to keep that. It's also very affordable. I have another of the e.l.f. This is the Primer Infused but not shimmer, and it's really, really light. It's called Always Cheeky, and it kind of almost looks like this lighter color in one of those ombre blushes. It's so smooth, but it's really light. I don't know. I think that one's another one that I'm going to have to... I know that I don't reach for it very often, and so I need to make up my mind if I want it or not. So maybe bin for it. ColourPop Meteorite. Meteorite? There's a question mark. Pressed Powder Blush. And this is just a great neutral tone blush. Kind of on the little bit of a brownie nude side, and I'm keeping that. I have another of the Almay Healthy Hue blush. This one is in So Peachy, and I have trouble picking this one up with my brush. It picks up great on my finger, and it is a very pretty color. But when I pick it up with a brush, I feel like I have to go in over and over and over to actually get it to show up on my cheek. So I like the color. I'm not sure about the formula, which means maybe it needs to be in the maybe bin. What do you think? Okay. The Believe Beauty blush, this one, this Born to Blush, is in the color High Tea. And again, it's just a very peach blush. And it's really pretty. It's a beautiful formula, and Believe Beauty is available at Dollar General. Used to be everything was $5 and under, but in today's day and age, I think it's like $5.25, maybe $5.50 and under, but still very affordable, and I am going to keep that blush. I have another ColourPop pressed powder blush in Desert Rose, and this one is also a lighter toned blush. Ooh, it's very, very similar to this e.l.f. blush, but it doesn't feel as pigmented. It has a little bit more color to it though than the e.l.f. one. Boy, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna declutter this one. I don't think I need that. I have enough of these lighter tones in those ombre blushes that if I need something that light, I can find it. Wet n Wild Color Icon in Keep It Peachy. I got this one when I was looking for kind of a straight peachy blush and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, and I was hoping that this might be it. Looking at it, it's very similar to the e.l.f. Bite Size that I'm getting rid of, and it's not really similar to anything else that's on my arm right now, so I'm actually going to keep that. I have a Tarte Amazonian Clay in Party Dress, and this is a really pretty blush. It's a little bit deeper than some of these other warmer blushes. I know, they all start looking alike, don't they? But it's also got just a little bit of a pinker undertone to it, so I really like it. It stays well on the skin, and I have room in my bin, so I'm keeping it. And then the last one, I've already decided I was keeping that, didn't I? Okay, and then the last one here is the Essence Blush Lighter. It's a gradient blush, and it's also shimmery, so it's darker on this side. I'm going to do them on different fingers, and more of a highlight on that side. Let's do it on the back of my hand. And so you've got kind of a brownish blush and then a highlighter. Or the way I typically use it is just to swirl it all together, and then it gives something looking like that, which I think is really pretty. I took this on vacation with us to Florida, and I just thought when I was a little bit sun-kissed and in a sundress with sandals, this was just super pretty. So I am also going to keep that. And again, my warm blushes now fit in my container, and so I am happy. All right, liquid and cream blush time. I thought that this would be fun to have a change of venue and be in a different spot recording these, but honestly, I think it's easier at my vanity. I'm having a little iced coffee break. What are you drinking? Let me know down in the comments. And while I'm taking a little break, if you're new here, hi, I'm Tina, and I am so glad that you are here taking a little time out of your day to spend some time with me. If you aren't subscribed yet, I would ask that you would take a second and do that, because I am trying really hard to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark and get 4,000 watch hours so that I can get this channel monetized. So if you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. And if you have some time, you're gonna be doing some cleaning, that you could run one of my playlists and help me with the watch hours, I would really appreciate that too. Let's get back to the blush. These Doll 10 blushes kind of started my cream blush obsession, maybe? Oh, by the way, I'm starting with 30 cream blushes. Jen Phelps let us know in a video when they were selling these, all 8 of them for something like $32, and then she has a code with Doll 10, and so we got more off of it. Anyway, it ended up being like $30, including shipping, for 8 cream blushes. And I hated that I couldn't see what they were, and I had to open all of them to find out. And so I put a sticker on the back and put some blush on, but they've kind of faded to the point where they all look alike now, so I have to open them again. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch these because I don't think I'm going to keep them all. So I'm going to swatch them and put them aside in order so that I can decide which ones I'm going to keep. And you don't have to watch all this, so I will speed this up. Okay, can you see my arm? I hope I'm in the shot. So we've got Kiss on the Chic, She's a Doll, Doll Squad, Dream Whip, Stepping Out, Vegas Nights, can't read them because they're upside down, Popstar Peach, and Doll Goals. Okay, so looking at these, I know I love Popstar Peach. That's staying. Kiss on the Chic is too light. I try to use it and then I almost always put something else over it, so I'm going to get rid of that one. These two, there's not a whole lot of difference, especially I think if I blend them out. And I like the lighter one a little bit, so Doll Squad is gonna go. These two are really similar. That's Steppin' Out and Doll Goals. And I think I'm gonna keep Steppin' Out and let Doll Goals go. Okay, now I've got them mixed up, you guys, because... So this one was Vegas Nights. I feel like Dream Whip and Vegas Nights are kind of similar. And I think I like the little bit more mauve tone of Vegas Nights. So I'm going to keep that one. And then She's a Doll. So I'm going to keep 4 and pass 4 along. I think that's a good compromise. Okay, so I have this Milk makeup stick that was a birthday gift from Sephora. And it smells like crayons and Play-Doh, and it didn't used to smell that way. So this has gotten old and I'm going to throw it away. I think this was my birthday gift maybe 3 years ago. e.l.f. Putty Blush in... I have no idea because the color isn't on here anywhere. I think it's Turks and Cake House, but I'm not sure. And I do like the e.l.f. Putty Blush, so I'm going to keep that one. I have the Morphe 2 blush in Wish. It's kind of a moussey texture. It's really interesting. And it's very velvety when you blend it into your skin. Super pretty. Really do like it. It's a very, very pretty color. Keeping that. The Flower Gel Crush Stick. I don't like this. It's really emollient, almost oily feeling. And it doesn't show up on my skin. I put it on, and then I blend it in and it's gone, and I put more on and I blend it in and it's gone, and it's just oily. It lifts the foundation. I'm getting rid of that. Okay, I've got a fresh arm. Let's look at these sticks next. Maybe do this in some sort of order. This one's from Palladio, and it's I'm Blushing 2-in-1 cheek and lip tint. I never use these on my lips. I'm not going to put this in my purse for a lipstick. It just doesn't happen. Got this one on Amazon, and it is really pretty. It's a little bit glowy, but it's just super pretty on the cheeks. And then the Wet n Wild makeup stick in Peach Bum, I have heard, is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, I think, Pink Gasm. Might be Peach Gasm. Don't come for me if I'm wrong. I don't have any Charlotte Tilbury. But anyway, I wanted to see what that looked like. And this Palladio is actually very similar to it. Then I have the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick in Glistening Peach. And it's a little bit lighter than the Peach Bum, which is also a little bit darker than the Palladio I'm Blushing stick. And then most recently, I picked up the Essence Baby Got Blush stick in Rosé All Day, which is actually not peachy. It's much darker. And this is a beautiful formula. I love this. It just goes on, dries down, stays on your cheeks all day long. Really, really pretty. And then the final one is the e.l.f. Lip and Cheek Tint in Radiant Bronze. And I don't know if this is supposed to be a bronzer, but it has straight up glitter in it. And I'm not going to use that for a bronzer or a blush, so I'm going to declutter that one. But even though these are similar, I'm keeping all of them anyway. Let's go to these pot blushes. Oh, my leg is asleep. Oh. I wiped those off and I still have glitter. It just got super dark and super windy outside. I think we're going to get a storm. If you hear some thunder, that's what's going on. This Beauty Crop Palm Balm, I think I got this in friend mail. The color is Mauve Waves. And unfortunately, it feels a little bit dried out. It feels kind of stiff. I don't know if I can get down to something that's not dried out. Pretty color. This is not one that I reach for, and I don't know why, other than it seems to be a little dried out. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe, and I might try to scrape off the top and then see if I can get to something that doesn't feel dried out, because it is a really pretty color. Bodyography in Cantaloupe. And this is just not a color that I use. So I'm going to declutter this one. I have 3 ColourPop Super Shocks. This one is Between the Sheets, and I love it. Unfortunately, it is kind of drying out a little bit, but I'm going to keep it and keep using it as long as I can because it is such a pretty everyday color. And then At First Blush is a Super Shock Cheek. This one has some shimmer in it. Actually, this one has a lot of shimmer in it, but it's very pretty. Love this color, and so I'm keeping that. Sometimes I want a shimmer, sometimes I don't, but I prefer, if it's going to have shimmer, I kind of prefer it to be a cream. And then Drop of a Hat is more of a warm toned gold, and that's really pretty too. So I'm keeping all of my color pops. The e.l.f. Jelly Pop Flush Blush. This one is in Berry Pop. I don't like these. I don't like the texture. I don't like the feel of them on my face. They lift my foundation. And then when you blend them away, then it's like they're gone. This one's going away. I don't like it. The Moira Love Heat Cream Blush in I Miss You. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is beautiful. I love this blush. It's very pigmented, as you can see. So you don't need a lot. I would never use that much. But it blends out and it dries down and then it just stays. It is so pretty. I love it. And if you're looking for that Dior pink, that's going to get you there. Just a few more left now, and these are liquids. This one's from LA Girl. It's the Soft Matte Cream Blush, and the color is Rosebud. And it has kind of a moussey texture, but just really pretty on the skin. Dries down, doesn't move, doesn't budge your foundation. Going to keep that. Then I have two of the LA Colors blush ups. I have one in Nude Glow. They are much more liquidy than the cream blush from LA Girl. And then this one is Marvelous. This one does oh man, I got a ton of that. This formula does separate a little sometimes, so you kind of have to squish the tube to mix it up. But both of these are really pretty. I have a ton on there, but you can get the idea. Flower Beauty Blush Balm in Pinched. This is ancient. I have a feeling it's probably separated, and no, it's not. But it is really old. And the LA Colors one is kind of a similar tone. I think if you blend them out, it has a little more pigment to it. This one I actually have a hard time getting it to show up on my cheeks, and it looks like it's kind of wanting to separate on my arm. So based on its age and that, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. Oh my goodness, it's raining. We haven't had rain in like 3 weeks. Everything is so dry. Not sure what we're going to feed our cows because there's no grass, but we have rain. Thank goodness. Okay, YC Collection Blush. I cannot even remember where I got this from, but it has a doe foot and it's a really pretty mauve color. This might have been an Ipsy. And I like it, so I'm going to keep it. Look Me Liquid Blush Collection Cheek Water Flip Blush in O2. I believe this was a Temu purchase, and I used it in my Temu haul, but it's very similar to the LA Colors blush down here, and I like the LA Colors better, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I did way better than I thought I was going to do. So I started with 34 cream blushes, and I am decluttering 8. I have 5 in the maybe bin, which means right now I'm keeping for sure 21, and I anticipate that I'll probably get rid of 2 or 3 of these, so we'll end up under 25. Which, considering I didn't think I was going to get rid of any at all, I think I did pretty good. I started with 30 in the cream blush category. I'm getting rid of 9. And I have 1 in the maybe bin. So I have 20 that I'm keeping for sure, with a potential maybe for 21. Again, I think I did pretty good. I didn't really think that I was going to get rid of that many blushes. But I'm very happy with that as a declutter. I started with my eyeshadow palette. I've gone through my concealers and foundations. I've done primers, powders, and setting sprays. And now here's our blush. I've got a real quick update on the maybe bin from my primers, powders, and setting sprays. I had 5 items in the maybe bin. This primer that I got from Temu, I actually like it as a primer, but it has fragrance in it. It's very perfumed, and I do not like the scent. So I'm going to pass this along. I had two powders that I wasn't sure of. The AOA Studio Shop Miss A Perfect Setting Powder. I really, really like this setting powder. Looks really nice under my eyes or over my entire face. So definitely keeping this. And then the Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder, I also really like this. So I'm keeping both of these powders. That might overflow my powder bin just a tiny little bit, but I've got one that's almost gone, so it's almost a wash. I know, I'm making excuses. Then I had two pore filling putty primers that I was going to do a side-by-side, one on one side of my face, one on the other, and I forgot that I was supposed to do it. So I have not tested these head-to-head like I was going to, so I don't know which one, if either, I'm going to keep. Putting it right back in the maybe bin, and this week I will do that test. If I don't, then I'm saying that I have to get rid of both of them. So that should be incentive for me because I really don't want to get rid of both of them. I may end up keeping both of them, but I think I should be able to eliminate one in a head-to-head. And I will give you an update on that in my next video, which will probably be bronzers, maybe bronzers and highlighters together because I don't have as many of those as I do blushes. So I intend to do this for every category of makeup. A new one comes out every few weeks, depending on how long it takes me to film and edit and what else I want to do in between times. But we will get through my entire inventory. So if you love declutters, make sure you're subscribed, notifications turned on, so that you won't miss them when I upload. I will put my declutter playlist over here if you haven't seen them all. I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.